Please like, subscribe. Why it sucked to be a cowboy in the Wild West. The sun would stretch lazily across the horizon, painting the plains with soft shades of gold and amber. Cowboys rose early, when the air was still cool and the world was quiet, their shadows long against the rolling hills. Horses nickered softly, and the faint rustle of leather and saddles blended with the gentle whisper of the wind. Days were long, filled with simple, steady tasks, but always beneath a sky that seemed to stretch on forever. Each step on the dusty trail carried a sense of solitude, a quiet rhythm that moved with the slow heartbeat of the land itself. Evenings brought a gentle hush over the open fields. The campfire glowed softly, flickering against tired faces and the creaking of worn boots. The smells of dry earth, smoke, and faint traces of leather lingered in the air. Conversations were slow and low, words drifting like smoke into the night sky, mingling with the quiet sighs of the prairie. Nights were chilly, yet calm, with only the soft rustle of grass and the occasional distant call of an owl to break the stillness. Each moment was unhurried, as if time itself had slowed, letting the mind rest gently on the wide, peaceful horizon. Under a sky dotted with countless stars, the world seemed to pause, and the mind followed its lead. The horses settled quietly, the campfire dimmed to a soft glow, and the wind whispered through the grass with a tender, steady hush. Every small sound, every slow motion, carried a subtle rhythm, like the earth breathing in gentle, endless cycles. The vast openness of the plains seemed to cradle the soul, holding it lightly, without hurry or weight. And as the night deepened, the quiet comfort of the land wrapped around every thought, letting each one drift softly, softly, into stillness. The morning light would rise slowly, brushing the edges of the hills with a pale, gentle glow. Cowboys moved with careful, measured steps, their routines quiet and unhurried. Horses shifted softly beneath their hands, hooves brushing against the soft dust of the trail. There was a steady rhythm to each day, a gentle pulse that carried them from one task to the next. Even the simplest chores held a quiet, enduring presence, like the soft turning of seasons, patient and calm, whispering that all was as it should be. The air was often dry and warm, stretching endlessly across the open plains, carrying with it a sense of stillness. Shadows lengthened slowly as the sun drifted across the sky, and the occasional distant sound, a low murmur of wind, the soft creak of a gate, felt like a gentle companion in the vast, open world. The life of a cowboy was filled with quiet persistence, small movements, and the steady companionship of horses and wide, rolling land. Every moment seemed to flow gently into the next, like a slow river, leaving space for thoughts to drift freely and softly, like clouds across the sky. As night approached, the plains softened under the pale silver of the moon. Fires dwindled to faint glimmers, and the last whispers of wind passed over the grass with tender ease. Even the horizon seemed to settle into a slow, untroubled calm. The world was hushed, and in that quiet, there was a steady, gentle comfort. Every sound and every shadow blended together in a soothing lull, carrying each thought, each breath, toward a tender, endless stillness. And as the night lingered, everything faded quietly, gently, into a calm, lingering hush. The stars stretched endlessly across the dark sky, twinkling faintly like distant lanterns. The air was cool and soft, settling lightly over the plains and through the quiet camp. Horses nuzzled gently, shifting in the straw, their breath rising in slow, misty clouds. The world seemed to slow with each passing moment, as if time itself had paused to listen to the gentle hum of the earth. Every step, every sigh, moved with a soft, unhurried rhythm, carrying a sense of calm across the open land. The moon cast a pale, soothing light over the rolling hills, washing the dust and grass in gentle silver. Even the sounds of the night, distant insects, the whisper of leaves, a soft creak from a fence, were tender, careful, and slow, blending into the vast, quiet expanse. Life on the plains was simple, steady, and enduring, each motion deliberate yet gentle. There was a quiet companionship in the land, a soft presence that settled around every thought, letting worries drift like slow clouds across a tranquil sky. As the night deepened, the camp grew still, and even the faint glow of embers seemed to sigh softly. The horses rested, the wind whispered, and the horizon melted into shadows of serene gray. Everything moved with tender patience, wrapped in the quiet comfort of open space. Thoughts drifted slowly, untroubled, like soft waves brushing a distant shore, and with each gentle moment, the world seemed to fold in upon itself, leaving only a calm, endless hush, fading quietly, softly, into the night. The evening air settled slowly over the plains, cool and gentle, carrying the soft scent of grass and distant earth. Shadows stretched across the rolling hills, blending quietly with the fading light. Cowboys moved with calm, deliberate motions, tending to small tasks with ease and patience. Even the horses seemed to move in tune with the quiet rhythm of the land, their soft breaths rising in gentle clouds that drifted lazily into the night. Every sound, every motion, felt measured, tender, and unhurried, like the world itself was breathing slowly. The sky deepened into soft shades of indigo, dotted with early stars that twinkled faintly, distant and serene. The campfire glowed low, casting gentle warmth across faces and blankets, while the occasional whisper of wind passed through the grass with tender care. Life on the plains was simple, steady, and enduring. Each moment carried a subtle, soothing cadence, letting the mind drift freely, thoughts floating like slow clouds above the vast, quiet land. Night wrapped the plains in a comforting hush. The horses rested quietly, and the last flickers of firelight faded softly. Everything seemed to fold inward, moving gently toward stillness. The land, the sky, and the quiet companions of the open plains held a serene presence, carrying every thought with them. And in that tender, untroubled calm, the world slowed to a gentle, endless hush, waiting patiently, softly, for the night to settle completely. The night deepened softly over the wide plains, draping everything in tender shadows and pale moonlight. The campfire had faded to quiet embers, and the horses rested with slow, steady breaths. The air was still, carrying only the faintest whispers of wind through the grass, each sound delicate, careful, and calm. Every movement, every small shift, felt gentle and unhurried, like the world itself had chosen to pause and linger in quiet peace. The vast sky stretched endlessly above, dotted with soft, distant stars that twinkled faintly, like quiet lanterns watching over the land. Shadows and light blended seamlessly across the hills, folding everything into a soothing, gentle hush. Thoughts drifted slowly, carried by the rhythm of the night, floating as softly as clouds across the calm, darkened plains. Every breath, every heartbeat, moved with ease, in harmony with the tender stillness that surrounded the camp. And as the night held everything gently in its embrace, the world softened completely. The wind whispered slowly, the horses slept quietly, and the distant horizon melted into calm, endless shadows. Every sound, every thought, and every gentle motion seemed to fade together, wrapping the land in peaceful quiet. And so, with the soft hush of the plains all around, good night,